Ticketing platforms. So choosing the right ticketing platform for your event. So we'll cover platform types, key features, and recommendations. So with so many ticket platforms available, it can be pretty challenging to choose which one to use as your primary platform. The location, the type, the target audience of your event will ultimately determine your choice. Conferences, live music events, festivals, and exhibitions, they all may require different ticketing platforms. And unless you have an exclusive agreement with a ticketing platform, there's no harm in adding your event and selling tickets through several different outlets. In this lesson, we're going to discuss the different types of platforms available and the key features to look out for, and I'm going to provide advice on whether to use one or multiple platforms. So there are two main types of ticket platforms that you can choose from. The first one is the public-facing events listing platforms. So these platforms are where people look towards when trying to find events and things to do. They're often specialized to an industry such as music and appear at the top of search results for popular search terms like events in my city. So if you're in London and you Google events in London, then you'll probably see one of these platforms. They normally have the largest market share in the region, and many promoters list with them to benefit from the large volume of organic traffic which they provide. Examples of these sorts of platforms are Eventbrite, Ticketmaster, C-Tickets, AXS Tickets, Skiddle, Resident Advisor, Dice. We can keep going. And the pros of these platforms are the amount of organic visitors you get depending on the platform's popularity. Your event will normally be included in email marketing and featured listings. You'll definitely get higher ticket sales if your event is listed at the top for that specific day. These events tend to have much better SEO so those people searching for your event should find it much easier. And some of these platforms, such as Skiddle, they run their own paid media and pay-per-click campaigns to drive more traffic to your event page. Some cons of these sorts of platforms are they would upsell similar events on your listing. You might get limited ownership of the customer data, and there's going to be a lot of competition with all the events on the same day. These are perfect for new and smaller events with smaller budgets that are going to rely on that organic exposure, or events that need to sell a large number of tickets upon launch, or events that appeal to a mass audience. So tips for using these platforms: you want to launch your event as early as possible to attract early purchases and get your event to the top of the listings. The higher you are in the listings, the more tickets you're going to sell. It's also best to sell low price tickets early on so you can build momentum, and then you can charge higher price further into your campaign once you have that significant momentum. So a tip also, research the popular platforms in your area, as different cities, different countries will have different types of platforms. Now, the second type of platform is a closed-off ticketing platform, ticketing website. So these platforms don't normally have event listing functionality. The majority of the traffic comes from promoters' channels, such as email marketing, SMS marketing, social media, and websites. Some examples of these are Weeztix, Yapsody, TicketPass, and 4Venues. And pros of these is when a user lands on your page, they're not going to be presented with similar events on the same day, which they might go and purchase. You would normally have full control of your attendee data, so you'd be able to download 100% of the customer data, which is not shared with other promoters. And with some of these websites, you can have a branded experience and even use a custom domain for installation. Cons of these platforms: they're not commonly used for event discovery, which means there's going to be a real lack of organic traffic. Due to fewer users, these platforms are normally smaller. They'll probably offer a bit less functionality than the bigger platforms, and there also might be some friction in the checkout process, as users are less likely to have an existing account and then just have to create an account before they can purchase a ticket. That being said, these platforms are perfect for promoters with highly engaged audiences, where customers will actively seek out and make a purchase regardless of the ticket platform. And also those with a strong marketing strategy and large social media followings who can drive a lot of the traffic to this ticketing platform for free. So what features should you look out for when choosing your ticket platform? So, while gaining exposure is important, There are many factors to consider as consumer habits evolve and marketing tools develop. So some of the key features I think you should look out for are pixel integration, so ensuring the platform has metapixel or other pixels and tracking capabilities to make sure you can track the performance of your paid media campaigns and also use them for retargeting. Any advanced analytics will be useful, so understanding your audience and their purchase habits, percentage of returning customers, age, gender, location, and referral links is all useful data. Allowing loyal fans to sell tickets on your behalf via a rep or ambassador scheme is useful. Having a mobile app and announcement functionality, so platforms with push notifications that can help you announce new events to followers. I think platforms like Fatsoma do this really well. For music events, having Spotify concert functionality is essential. So when you list your event and you list the artists and tag them on Spotify, when someone is viewing the artist on Spotify, they can see your event if it's nearby. Advanced payments, so if you can get advanced payments from the ticketing platform before the event, you don't have to worry so much about cash flow. Some promoters would require multi-event access, so if you need like one ticket to enter multiple events, then make that a consideration. Seated venues may need seated allocation functionality, which platforms like Ticketmaster are good for. We also want customization and seamless checkout. Okay. Also look for platforms with a smooth checkout process that have seamless So also consider seating allocation. If your event has fixed table or seating plans, which your user needs to be able to access or to choose seats to be allocated. You also want a seamless checkout, so look for platforms with a smooth checkout process that support Apple and Google Play, so people can purchase in one click. Resale functionality, so check if customers can easily resell their tickets through your platform, which can also increase your ticket revenue and footfall. Customization and media embedding, so does your ticket platform allow you to add branding or media content to showcase the experience? Tracking links is also useful. Does the platform allow you to generate unique URLs to track sales per referral? This helps measure the effectiveness of each sales channel. Payment plans, for larger events, you want a platform that lets customers spread the cost of their ticket over multiple months. Booking fees as well, how much does the platform charge per ticket? A smaller booking fee means less for the customer, and that will increase your conversion rates. Also look for API and integrations. Does the platform have an open API, or does it allow integrations with automation platforms such as Zapier or marketing platforms such as Meta? These integrations can save hours of manual work. And a guest list manager for your event management. Does the platform provide a simple solution to manage the guest list? So one or many platforms. So depending on your event's region, your brand strength, reliance on organic traffic, you can choose to stick to one platform or use multiple platforms. So the pros of sticking to one platform, you have less admin and it's easy to scan tickets. You can get an exclusivity deal, which means you can get potential kickbacks on every ticket sold. You also get high visibility on the platform if it has the most traffic in your region, and if you're listed on just one platform and you're combining all that sales data into one platform, you'll be much higher in the listings. Pros of using multiple platforms: you get increased organic exposure, you get more visits, reduce dependency risk on a single platform, and different audience segments. It's also a backup if your primary platform fails, which doesn't normally happen. Industry standard, I see a lot of promoters in the music industry list on multiple platforms. So in London, they might list on RA, Skiddle, and Dice. And it really just, each of these platforms brings its own organic audience. So what is our recommendation? Our personal recommendation is Weeztix, used to be called Eventix. It's recently rebranded, and the reason we would recommend Weeztix is because it's got extremely low booking fees. So, for a UK, this would be about 55 pence per ticket. If you compare that to other platforms, which are like 10% booking fee, then the customer could pay in, for a festival ticket, it could be 10 to 30 pounds just on the booking fee. Integrations, so they have an open API, and they've also got a number of integrations, so you can build automations. And as a developer, for me, that's kind of a dream, so I would highly recommend. Simplicity as well, the purchase flow of buying tickets is a breeze. It's a seamless checkout. And also there's loads of useful analytics and tracking, so everything you need to measure the effectiveness of your campaign. So, choosing the right platform, you'll be complementing the rest of your marketing efforts if you get this right. So it's very important. There are a few additional platform solutions. So always, if your ticket platform doesn't have resale, consider using something like TicketSwap or Tixel to allow customers to resell their tickets in a safe way. And if you're an experience-based event promoter, then there's a platform called Easel, which is pretty useful. So yeah, you can check those out. And there are a few recommended weekly tasks to do with ticketing. So I would make sure that every week you should export your customer data. If you don't have an automation where the new purchases go into your CRM, export the customer data and send them a thank you email. Also, make sure that every week you're analyzing the demographics. So, how far are people traveling? How old are they? And then adjust your paid media strategy to accommodate this. And also, check your competitors. Like, what are they doing? What platforms are they listing on? What are their descriptions and their ticketing strategy? And you'll be able to get some good insights. So yeah, key takeaways from this lesson: the platform choice impacts sales. There's two types of platforms. Features really matter, and you need that strategic flexibility. So there's no perfect solution. Years of experience will help you choose the right ticketing platform. So if you're not that sure, then maybe just look at what your competitors are doing in the region. Thank you for watching this lesson, and I will see you in the next one.